have Bulldog obviously 1-0 right now, with NSG being 0-1. Bulldog looked very, very good, surprised a few people coming out the blocks, and NSG didn't show too much in their loss. I'm hopeful that we'll get a very close, tight game with these two teams coming up against each other. Sarge, are you there? Sarge is not there. We're still on the Viper and Talk show. Hopefully, we get a good game, as I say. NSG, there were some big question marks over their gameplay last week, sadly, in the final game of the day. Bulldog, we had some questions about that early game that haven't really been answered yet. Obviously, we haven't seen them play. Rosalina in the jungle early there were problems there. We don't know. We talk about this at length in the pre-show, but I think it just see how we get a response Bulldog early, because in the mid to late game they did look very, very good. NSG need to pull something off quite spectacularly in order to improve their standard of play if they want to come out and win this one. I'm hoping that Charlie's going to join us very, very soon, because we need the Sarge on deck before we jump into Champ Select.
I am back.
Oh, there he is! I had to monologue, and it was not what the viewing public wanted to hear. Sarge, are you good? Are you ready?
I'm sorry, buddy. I was getting ready for our Valentine's stream to get
on.
Got a little bit of smelly, trying to make myself look nice for you.
That's nice. I'm glad that you dressed up. I didn't. I'm wearing a t-shirt, but
well, I mean, we like your casual look, Mr. Viper. That is why you are here, after all. But no, I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for covering my slight absence.
No worries.
Back for the second week of UKEL. I had to miss the last game on last week, so I'm looking forward to getting the full 2 through today with us.
It's really good. I'm excited for having you with me for both of these ones, but looking forward to this game, Bulldog versus NSG. I just give a little bit of a monologue about what the main talking points, the Bulldog early game hiccup we saw last week versus NSG's lackluster first outing for us in this second season of the UKEL. Bulldog obviously came in with a win, so even though there were question marks about some of the players and some of the performances at times, they still have that win on the board. NSG, obviously there were some questions and they did end up losing out on that game. What are you expecting to see from these two teams?
So I'm hoping that we see a little bit of a change of strategy from NSG. They did go for the scaling composition last week, and it just didn't really get across the line. They fell too far behind early, and they just withered through the mid-game. They need to try and draft something that's going to give them a bit more punching power at the start of the game, because Bulldog last picked the Elise Renekton duo for the top side of the map last week. That's something that you can really easily exploit to get these early advantages. And like I said, that's how NSG fell behind. So unless they made an adaptation, that's something that I really want to see change.
Well, we are flying across the lyric now, ladies and gentlemen. That means it's Champ Select time. Bulldog on the blue side, NSG on the red. Bulldog looking to go 2-0. NSG looking to get their first win on the board. And honestly, talking about teams and stuff like that, Bulldog might be my dark horses for this tournament so far. Yes, we've got a very, very small sample size, but I really like how they're looking so far, and you've got to choose a dark horse that other people aren't going to choose, because otherwise it's not really a dark horse. We are in Champ Select though, as I said. Aphelios, Braum and Lucian will be taken away.
Yeah, a lot of picks that we're seeing over and over again recently. Aphelios is in that S tier of ADCs. Lucian is kind of in this early game style that we see as well, so I like NSG taking that away. Senna being taken off the board means that we're not going to have that scaling composition, and the different marksmen are going to raise in priority. We could be looking at a Misfortune favoured now, as we're seeing that pool pinched a little bit, but some band's going to pivot away towards the mid lane. Being Soraka has taken away as the final ban by NSG there. I'm glad this has been taken off board, because it just makes for not very interactive games, like sat up there in the top lane healing all the time. Yes, I understand its value as part of the team. I understand why it is something you want to go for, but it just doesn't give the same sort of excitement that some of these scrappy, brawling top laners that you otherwise would see bring to a game.
Yeah, I am now back, hopefully with less static noise. Don't know what was happening there, but we're going to see the Misfortune being locked in first up for Bulldog. We've seen this champion a lot around, very, very strong. Going into the earlier mid-game, going to be interested to see how Jacob does on that one. What do you think should be the response with NSG?
So, something that can look to exploit Misfortune's lack of maneuverability. When she goes into that bullet time, she has to stand still, so anything that can lock her down and cancel that ultimate is a massive benefit to your team. Nautilus is a prime example of this, Leona as well, two of the top tier supports that are still left available on the table, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bulldog either pick these up or try to pinch them out of the ban pool if they are not taken in this first rotation.
So Syndra, Set, Jarvan 4 and Leona, very, very quick lock-ins there from Bulldog, know exactly what they want to go for. And we've seen Jarvan 4 being one of the strongest picks, one of the most popular picks in the jungle right now. I know a lot of pro players are loving that one. And the Leona Misfortune, a very, very nice aggressive bot side. Want to see NSG go for something quite interesting in this final pick. We've got a pretty standard set going forward. Standard set, because the champion's called Set.
Weave that in there beautifully. But the Olaf is a nice response. It gives you that same sort of early tempo that you're looking for, has a very fast clear, very quick at chunking through objectives, so if you are looking to contest dragons and a Rift Herald early on, the Olaf is a nice little addition to your roster. It is difficult when you come up against the Jarvan because you can't get out of that Cataclysm. Even using the Ragnarok, it lets you avoid CC, but it can't dash you through the wall. So there is the potential to still fall prey to the tried and tested wombo combo of the Cataclysm into the Misfortune bullet time. But we'll have to see whether Bulldog are able to pull that off. Like we say, they went for something a little bit different last week with the Renekton Elise was their jungle topside pairing. The Jarvan is a different flavour and shows they might be trying to play more towards this bot side of the map, leave top on an island.
Quite interesting to see NSG going for that free pick. I know those are all strong champions in their roles, but it's very, very unusual not to see the bot lane locked in the first rotation, and you can see now some of the bans coming forward. A lot of marks would have been taken off the table. There's no Senna, there's no Lucian, there's no Aphelios. We've also seen the fresh ban. The Ornn has been flexed in several regions to support as well. So, and with the Misfortune and Leona being taken away, and now the Nautilus, NSG, they're going to have to start going for kind of scraping the barrel of that top tier, trying to find what they can get. Yes, Zarya Rakan is still available. You could say that Kai'Sa's still about, but this kind of very strong bot lane, it's going to be a difficult one. But one thing they didn't ban away from Vayne God, of course, is that Vayne. Will we get to see it locked in? We will.
I was hoping so much.
Oh.
You know, when someone has the name as Vayne God, you see this champion left open, you are daring them to take it. And with him picking that up, that gives them a really good late game insurance policy. But this is the thing that I mentioned I was worried about for NSG, relying too much on the late game, relying too much on the scaling and not getting there, and that is certainly something that can be exploited because of weak Vayne is in the early laning phase.
I'm excited to see how this one goes down for Vayne God. Obviously, a very, very strong champion. I'm having a couple of technical difficulties on my end, so I'm not actually seeing what is being locked in. But let's talk about this Vayne pick a little bit more. We kind of, looking at this NSG lineup, we did kind of worry that they were playing too much for the late game. Veigar and Renekton will be locked in for Bulldog as their picks. Instantly disrespected Bulldog. Picking Veigar, as anyone who watched my casting knows, means that I'm automatically going to side with the other team. So go on NSG, you can do it. But
it gives them a bit of everything though. Veigar really ties up the composition because as much as we're chastising NSG for looking towards that scaling option, games are going longer in this in Season 10 so far. We are seeing 4, 5, maybe even 6 Drakes if they are a contested objective. So having this Veigar that's just going to stack up further and further and provide that awesome one-shot potential, it rounds out Bulldog's comp in a nice way that NSG has to try and respect.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad pick here. I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't like the champion. Get rid.
Okay.
There's a lot of. I know there are a lot of people talking about how Set's broken. Aphelios you hate. Soraka top even. I know there are people talking about stuff like Tom Kent, which is super sleeper with Senna.
It's just not engaging. It's not engaging to play against. It's not engaging to watch.
You know what? I'm all for it. You know what? I would take Soraka top every day over having a Veigar anywhere near games that I'm involved with. But the Rakan is being locked in for Always Spooks, giving a nice little option to round out the composition from NSG. And now we've got these two compositions locked in and we can see what's going on. Which one, like, why don't you just talk us through the composition, which ones you favour, which picks maybe surprised you a little bit, and what you want to see coming out of this first game for us today, but the third game in the UKEL Week 2?
So we've talked a bit about Bulldog's roster already and how they have a nice mix of everything. So let's start with NSG. And up in the top lane, you've got Set versus Renekton. Two champions that really want to get in each other's face. They want to have this brawl and just fight it out. You were talking about how lots of people have been complaining about Set. I do personally think he's a little bit overtuned. The shield that he gets and then converting that into a true damage with his Haymaker is absolutely disgusting. So if these two champions are left alone, I think that's a nice pick for NSG. I think it's going to deny a lot of Renekton's potential power.
I think
and it could be somewhere they could play around themselves.
One thing you've got to remember about the Renekton, though, is he is one of those champions that does have that ability to completely shred a shield, right? So, going into the set, that might actually be quite a smart matchup, I think, because a lot of the damage and the power from Set does come from that W, from that massive shield, and then that massive amount of damage. If you're shredding through the entire shield, he's quite neutered, honestly, and Renekton, very good at getting into Set's face early, very good at dueling, could be a very, very smart pickup from Bulldog.
Yeah, and he's a great champion for quickly getting in and out of these fights, doing a lot of burst damage quickly, then just getting away safely. That's something that Set can have problems with, unless he uses that showstopper to drag you back into the lane, into his kingdom, where he can really lay the smackdown on you. But between the mid laners, I think we're going to see Syndra have the early advantage. I think she does have a little bit more pressure in lane. She can certainly clear a lot faster at these early levels than the Vigar will be able to. But it's how they use that pressure, where they roam around and they look to make something else happen on the map, or whether this Syndra just becomes a bit healthier on farm, but can't impact anywhere because they have the slightly weaker bot side, in my opinion.
Olaf, love, you do need to pick up an item if you want to clear the jungle. I don't know if he's clocked on. He might be doing a thing where he places the ward recalls and then we'll grab the jungle item when he changes up his to sweeper lens. So not the end of the world. It's a bit weird to not have picked that one up earlier, but I mean, he knows that he's going to go back anyway, right? He knows that he's going to go back. We saw this a lot in the UKEL last split, where junglers will place that ward and then swap out for the sweeper so that they can then go in and have that item a little bit earlier. Denying vision is super important for the jungle role, but a little variant just to keep us on our toes, make sure that we're looking at those items and seeing what has been picked up and what hasn't. But starting up this one looks like pretty standard starts. We're not going to see any big invades or anything, because both of these teams have members that kind of want to go a little bit late.
Yeah, and there's certainly no worry about scaling here for either team. They're both going to be happy that they have the better scaling pick. You've got the Vayne versus the Vigar. They're very different champions in how they work, but they can both be absolutely devastating if you do leave them unattended in these late game fights. So I'm glad that both teams have a lot of options, and we're not simply seeing an early game composition versus a late game composition like we saw in some of our matches last week. Now, I do think there's lots of places that the teams can look to exploit, like I've said already, and I think that one of the key areas for Bulldogs is trying to get an early advantage in this bottom lane and get Hyam Jacobs Misfortune off to a good start.
Just watching this bot matchup very, very quickly, we are going to see the first blood super fast going down to the Set, actually winning out on that one. We're going to have to see the Renekton coming through and going in onto that one. But let's have another look at this one. Just pulls him in, hits level 2 first, and is going to be able to flash forward. Both flashes will be burnt there. We're having a couple of problems with the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we'll be able to get that one resolved as soon as possible. Okay.
Okay, so we've just had a slight update from our production. Due to some technical issues that I'm not going to try and recreate the explanation of, the scoreboard is a little bit bugged out, so... Oh, are we back? Are we back on?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Perhaps? Ah. No.
Excellent.
Scoreboard might be appearing a little bit intermittently right now, but we're seeing a possible engage looking at in this bot side. Jarvan has path down. He's been seen on the ward though, so we'll see Vayne God and all spooks back off. This Godano is getting the better in this mid lane, shoving out wins quite nicely.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where these two junglers decide to make their first impact. Yes, we did see the Jarvan trying to go down bot lane, but was unable to get anything done there. Very respectful from Vayne and Allspooks to back away. Wynn's taking a little bit of a beating in the mid lane early. You kind of expect that. Vigar's not the strongest early, and we're going to see a teleport coming in from Set very aggressively. Is Renekton going to try something? No, decides against it because Chicken He's already got one kill. He might be looking for more if the Renekton isn't careful, and that could be it. Not able to get damage down on the W, so no real fight taking place up there, but I like the two kind of aggressive brawlers in the top side who might look to go at each other. But once again, junglers, both of these guys want to be getting on the map early, getting some damage down, getting some ganks down, and top lane doesn't have any flashes, so could that be an area to go to?
No teleports either, so if the junglers do want to try and make something happen up here, but they might not need to. Imported Chicken was engaged well, and we saw there what we're talking about, Renekton's ability to dash forwards, get a good chunk of damage down but back out, but Unknown Swede is looking like he's going to make a play in the bot lane, decides against it, but he is stood on a ward. Rosalina's Jarvan is nearby. We could see a collapse there.
Oh, we could see a fight here as Unknown Swede's going to be engaged and has to flash away, and no follow-up from Girish on that Zenith Blade means that there won't actually be a fight. They do manage to get the flash out from the Olaf though, so that's pretty nice. We did see Wins getting beaten up in the mid lane as well just before that play kicked off. He's just going to be forced to cancel his back again, and the Vigard's not having a good time.
And I really like Rosalina's pathing here on the Jarvan. They know that have a strong bot side early, have a good idea that Unknown Swede's Olaf is going to want to try and impact this, change the dynamics of that lane. So he's just shadowing them, spending so much time making sure they have the safe lane down there, that they're not going to get punished by overextending, and allowing this Misfortune to creep out to an early farm lead, get more pressure in lane, and transfer that into the early objectives. The Cloud Drake is going to be picked up for themselves. Next, it will be the Infernal, which means we're going to have an Ocean or a Mountain Rift later on this game.
Interested to see Rosalina making these more proactive plays in the jungle, getting those objectives. Hasn't been able to fully gank yet, but has already burnt the Olaf's flash. And a big question mark. Oh, we're going to see a fight. Actually, I'm going to have to hold that one as Renekton and Set going at each other once again. Set is now level 6. It does have that ultimate available. Might look to use it, but it looks like Renekton's going to give respect to seeing the level of his opponent. Is going to back away. But as I was saying, really, really nice to see Rosalina. We had questions over the early game of this jungler, and so far has looked pretty good this game.
Certainly has, and with the top side dominance that we're seeing from the side of NSG, I would like Olaf to try and pick up this early Rift Herald when it spawns. Keep a lot of control over the top side of this map, and then use that neutral objective to force some more pressure in the mid lane. Maybe bring it down bot, inject some gold into some of the other lanes where it's going even at the minute, because Imported Chicken doesn't really need the help. You see, even in those trades there, Kira doesn't feel like he can press that. He backs out, even though he's stacking up with Fury, even though he has more health, because he is that scared of the set's ability to just turn around and dumpster him. Jarvan getting caught out here, but will be able to flag a drag to safety.
Has to be careful in his own jungle at the moment, Rosalina, as there are members converging around the red buff, so that's going to be a very nice steal there. Very well played by NSG to get that control, get that dynamism in the jungle with the mid laner coming over as well. You love to see that kind of thing. Now Imported Chicken puts a little bit of a smackdown onto Kara. Nothing too drastic though. It's going to be, you imagine it's going to be quite difficult for one of these top lanes to really get the drop on the other one 1v1 without there being a significant poke battle or assistance.
Yeah, and while that is the case, something that Bulldogs could look to make a play around, Kira is going to get the TP up first, dashes away back to the safety of his tower. So in a few minutes, we might see a play where Rosalina looks to go bot, tries to get Hyam Jacob ahead, but Syndra not going to get trapped up in the box. So the team is trying to interrupt my thoughtful analysis. Come on, guys, let me
How dare you? How dare you, teams?
I know, like, how dare you interrupt the colorcaster that you can't hear speaking? It's just inconsiderate.
It's just rude, more than anything.
But this Renekton in the top side is going to have his TP back up first. That will put Bulldogs at an advantage where they could potentially look to really force something in this bot lane. Bring the Jarvan down there, get the Renekton TPing down as well, and get a big lead for this Misfortune, really putting Vayne as far behind as possible while the set is still unable to respond.
Taking stock across the rest of the map as we do. Vayne's a little bit behind the Misfortune. There's a nice engage onto Vayne God there. Spooks gets the counter engage onto Hyam Jacob, which maybe tonight any kind of kill. The Ignite will go down, the stun will come down, the ultimate will come down. But Vayne God is going to be able to escape that one, the cleanse. Able to keep her alive for now. Big cooldown has now been used though, and got to be careful on that Vayne under speed on the top side. In response, he's going to start this Rift Hold. Imagining Rosalina's down bot where they can now see, and this should be a pretty free objective for NSG. Kara's the only one who's up on that side. 3 members of Nuclear Storm Gaming Gonna be looking to grab that one up, but Rosalina clearing the vision, might look for a dive here. It's 3v2. Vayngod, all spooks, backing away from the tower. Nice flash from Vayngod to avoid the knock-up, but the ult will come down. The damage will come down the high, and Jake will pick up that one. All spooks goes down to the Cataclysm and follow-up. Auto Rosalina getting that one. 2 kills traded for that Rift Herald. Excellent play all around.
Didn't even need the TP. Kira was available to make that play. I was watching it, I was looking at it, making it happen, but they didn't actually need it. Meanwhile, we're going to see Rift Herald summoned on top. Kira is now under this tower. Got that to help defend him, but with 2 members here that could cut down, they could just look to try and burst it.
He has ulted already, try and get a bit more clear as Wins comes up to get the play, but Kira's just going to cut for unknown Sweden. Now they're going to follow on. We do see him bot lane, Towers being pushed out, but now Important Chicken has to be so careful. Doesn't manage to get the jump onto 2 of them. Nice shield there as Disco Dan comes through to try and grab onto Wins, but I think it's going to be Curtains for set as he's going to be cut down by the Renekton. Allspook's not there in time. Wins is going to pay for it with his life. The ult comes down. The stun won't because Vigar has already fallen. Allspook's too late to really take part in all of that, but excellent play initially from Kara to manage to pull them off the tower, and basically, the tower stands.
And while that looks like a really good play by NSG, trying to make something happen on the opposite side of the map when they just lost out in bot, it's just a massive show of disrespect. With Kira, they just ignore the Renekton under the tower. He's chipping away the entire time, doing so much damage. And when NSG finally realise they have to respond, they've taken so much damage already, it's an easy kill and a nice pickup for this Renekton. He will get 2 kills for himself and will be put right back into contention for the rest of this game.
Rosalina having to back away from the dragon, too much heat around the area, doesn't want to get involved in that. You can of course see the replay in the bottom corner of your screen, but this dragon fight could get pretty feisty. Vayngod has used the ultimate, nice condemn into the wall there, teleport coming in into the brush as people go low. Jacob goes golden to stay alive, but I don't know how much longer he'll be able to last. He's going to go down pretty quickly, but the Cataclysm will trade Vayngod, but now Rosalina gonna be cut down in the back. You've got to imagine does go down eventually as the rest of the members of NSG converge onto the back line, taking down Girish in the process. 3 members do fall, they only lose Vayngod, and Dragon will probably go over to the boys in red.
The numbers advantage goes in favour of NSG. They will likely pick up this dragon for themselves as well. It was nice positioning by Vayngod, getting that condemn, and then the 3-man quickening into the knockup. Hyam Jacob simply had no time to engage with his fight. It's only the stopwatch that buys him a little bit more time before his death. Meanwhile, Rosalina is able to get onto Vayngod, takes him out, but there's simply too many men, too much damage, and we will see NSG come out on top of that fight with the Drake as well. Wins not able to get down here quickly enough on that Vigar, and this could be something that costs Bulldog the longer these kind of fights go on.
And if you want to talk about these big plays or look at these again, make sure you tune in Sunday 5 PM for UKEL Insight, where our producer will be taking us through a lot of these big games, a lot of these plays with some players and some special guests, so make sure you tune in for that one. It's going to be a good time. Imported Chicken and Karen now moved onto the bot side. We do see lane swaps, Dragon no longer available. And with both of these, with the top tower being pretty low, Karen's gone on to Imported Chicken once again. No big shield available yet for the set. It's going to be taken low, might even be taken down. It's going to be cut down by the Renekton. After that first blood has gone down, it's been all Crocodile focused. I wasn't expecting to say that.
All of a sudden, this lane matchup on the top side of the map flipped on its head. Imported Chicken did get the early lead because
Wins might be caught out here. The Ragnarok and the ult is all that matters. Disco Dan's going to be knocked airborne and will be taken down with the Cataclysm, but he's now locked in with the Olaf. He's going to be rooted up. No Ragnarok there. The ultimate will come through to try and burn through Unknown Swede, who's going to be trying to make excuses and get out alive. Allspooks is there just for assistance if it's needed. It's not going to be, as they do happily just take the one, but Kara going to be taking first brick of the game down in that bot lane. Excellent play on this Renekton so far, and Bulldog take a little bit of a gold lead there.
And of all the people that NSG don't want to see gold on, it's this Renekton right now, because he's simply getting stronger and stronger. And the idea of picking this set was you could contest that side lane, you could win the side lane into the angry Crocodile and just beat him up, throw him down, and cause pressure all day long. Now that's simply not the case, because this Renekton has just pulled so far ahead, and it does feel like Kira's conservative play has bought him this advantage where Imported Chicken has been a little bit too reckless and a little bit too disrespectful of his opponent's abilities.
And don't get me wrong, Set does scale pretty well, so you're not going to be too worried about dying a couple of times. But the Renekton, as you say, very able to match in the side lane now. And Set is looking to get that push down onto that bot tower, but damage coming in onto the Veigar. Once again, he's being taken low. Once again, he's being taken out. Disco down in the 1v1, and the Syndra is going to start being a huge problem. We talk about how Bulldog... Well, if they get this Veigar going, it's very, very hard for champions to deal with. But Disco Dan, though, just not letting you get anywhere near the level that he's at right now.
Right now, this is the big advantage for NSG hell of a map. This is the one lane that is really predominantly ahead, and Syndra is using her power to just push around and bully all the members of Bulldog. But she doesn't need to get close and close the gap onto the Veigar to kill him, so the baby cage is not an effective defense like it would be against someone like a Diana, trapping them in place. She simply pokes him down from range and is creating so much push in this mid lane. This tower will likely fall very soon unless there is a good resurgence from Bulldogs to try and make a counter push. They are going to lose this tower very, very soon.
Could see towers go down very quickly. Disco Dano trying to get some damage onto Rosalina. Won't be able to get the follow-up for any kind of kill pressure though, but does force the Jarvan away a little bit. Has a lot of support in the side. Set is there. Has to be careful. The Rift Herald has now respawned. This is an objective on the map that people might want to go for. Disco Dano has to be careful about taking damage about half health now as Kara comes in from the back. Nice play to bring up the fight. The character doesn't come down. Veigar looking for the kill on the side, but it's going to be the Ragnarocking Olaf who needs to be careful. First kill will go down onto the Veigar, and Veigar is on the side looking to burn through the Crocodile as we see him, but he's going to be able to get out. No, he won't, as Veigar's going to get the shutdown, but will in turn be stunned up. Taking a lot of damage is going to be taken down by the Misfortune. Hyam Jacob now on the back looking for Allspooks, who has to go golden, but now Hyam Jacob is in so much trouble, will be taken down, but does trade it 1-for-1. The rest of the fight has petered out on the other side. Unknown Swede looking for a chase, but with the tower there, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Won't be able to get the dive down. And it's going to be forced to back away. Tower now gone. Girish stayed too long. Could be in trouble. The shield's not enough, as we're going to see Olaf with the undertows, with the damage coming through. We do see the Rift Herald started up by Imported Chicken. Nice turnaround play from NSG as they take that fight.
And this all starts off by a fantastic flank by Renekton. He comes in, a good attempt by Imported Chicken to take him out of the fight with the Showstopper, but the tried and tested wombo combo, the Cataclysm into bullet time, traps up 3 members. Olaf only just keeps alive. You can see such low health bars all the way across, and Vanguard does what they can. Kira is shut down there, but there's simply 2 split up. NSG can't win this fight decisively. They lose a lot of members. Hyam Jacob picks up another double kill, and while NSG win out overall, while they get onto a Rift Herald, they take a lot of casualties, and it will still be a lot of gold going the way of Bulldogs, which is not what you want to see.
NSG do now have the Goldie low. Bulldog on the Dragon. Vanguard is there. They're trying to get some damage onto Rosalina. Nice condemn there. Nice knock-up. Could be enough. And Vanguard is stunned up and taken down by the bullet time. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade there as Allspooks forced to back away. Doesn't want to be tanking up the Dragon, but Unknown Swede is kind of fine with doing that. 3 members of Bulldog's coming down to teleport as well. It's going to be a fight for the Dragon. It's going to be taken up by NSG, but now they're going to be stunned up double by Girish. Olaf in the backline in the pit. Not going to be able to do too much as Wind manages to pick up the kill onto Rakan. Kara forced to back away. They will find the Olaf who goes golden, but it's only going to buy him a second as he's going to be taken down. Shut down on Jacob. Nice dunk there from Chicken to turn this fire around. He managed to take one. Will he be able to get another one? He will be able to get the Misfortune. Girish, the last person standing. Will he be able to get away? No, he won't. The Syndra will clean him up. Rosalina survives long enough for there to be a no ace, but NSG cleaning up that fight.
That comes in on the backside to stop the show dead. He dunks for Renekton into the middle of the enemy team. Just health bars just dropping, and it was beautifully delayed. You could see him looking for it the entire time. Now Vanguard starts this fight off. It's a lovely condemn, but she just can't get the initial damage off. All of the CC from the back of the pit takes out Vanguard. It stuns up Allspooks for a decent amount of time, and it delays this dragon being taken, giving Bulldogs the time to position around it, letting Renekton TP in. And while Olaf does manage to tag it, he's then stuck away from the rest of his team, isolated in this pit. It's inevitable that he's going to go down, but Imported Chicken is the man to watch. They managed to kite Kira back so much, just chipping away at the health bars, and here it comes. The suplex, the RKO out of nowhere, and ooh! That hurts even just to watch. Imported Chicken laying the smack down, and there is nowhere for Hyam Jacob and Girish to go. They hung around too long, and Disco Dano and Imported Chicken showing their moves, cleaning up that fight on the back end for NSG.
Such an impressive ultimate there from Imported Chicken. Somebody's been playing very, very well this game. You've got to say, like, yes, Kara was getting the better of them 1v1 initially. Outside of First Blood, obviously. Rosalie needs to be careful, though. Has to flag and drag away. The Undertow will land, get the slow, but I know Swede not going to be able to chase on too much on his own. Disco Down is there, but not able to close the distance. And now we're going to see another one of these 1v1 Set versus Renekton. I don't think Imported Chicken really wants this one right now. He's doing a lot of work in team fights, but outside of that, in the 1v1, you've got to still favour the Crocodile.
This is the thing, there's a lot of squishy members. The way that Set's ults works, remember, is the person he picks up, the more health they have, the more damage that subsequent slam does. So picking up that Renekton when he had the ultimate, when he had that extra health, only increased the killing power that Imported Chicken brought to the table. In these 1v1s, however, it's not quite as effective. He is still on about an even footing with the Crocodile. It depends on how the engagement goes down, who gets the better footwork and can dance around their opponent, but it is really the teamfight potential of the showstopper from Set right now that is making him a viable threat, whereas Renekton, he kind of dives forwards, and if he's kited back, he doesn't have that same kind of effectiveness. We've seen Vaingod pick him to pieces on several occasions. We've seen Disco Dano just juke away from him and keep him at a distance, and that's the problem that Kira is going to have. Whenever his flash is down, he can't immediately force that kill pressure onto these backline targets.
Rift Herald now wandering down mid lane, has to be used as it was running out, and Bulldog will, you've got to imagine, have a pretty decent time of clearing this one. We'll get the charge off, we'll get the tower, but after that, not going to be able to grab a second. Decent return though from Set, dropping that one down mid, able to get crack open the map a little bit more, and getting that mid tower is super important. Now the whole of the jungle is kind of open to NSG. They're kind of able to go in, get vision deep in the enemy jungle, and then start setting up for stuff like Baron, which needs a little bit more time. You need a little bit more warning on it, and it looks like they are going to start it up. The map is dark for Bulldog. NSG have 4 members starting it up, but you've got to imagine Bulldog kind of know what's going on. Kara on the bot side, but doesn't have teleport, so it will be a 4v5. It looks like Bulldog are going to walk into this one blind. They're going to see what's going on. He does get the dunk down onto Rosalina, but it doesn't matter too much. That's not where the fight is. The fight is now on wins as Bulldog forced to flash away. They do trade 1-for-1. Hyam Jacob going down. All smokes also falling, but NSG still feeling confident to restart that drag a Baron up. Renekton, not even moved, is going to be on the bot side trying to get a push on. Imported Chicken playing bodyguard as the rest of the team going to try and melt through that Baron. Imported Chicken won't be able to get too much, but this is going down pretty slowly, all things considered. It looks like there's going to be a handshake, and Bulldog are going to go for Dragon instead. Kara going to try and get some damage on that tower. Won't even be able to take it though. 4 members of Bulldog have, no, 5 members of NSG now do have that Baron. Bulldog hoping to get this tower in return.
The 1-for-1 trade there really favoured NSG, managing to remove that misfortune, the potential of that bullet time, the massive damage that could have caused so much destruction in the pit. Having rid of her gave them the perfect opportunity to go for that Baron. They knew that there wasn't this team-wide damage that could really put them in a hole. They knew that they'd only lost their support in the process, so it was a good handshake to take, and it doesn't even look like they're going to lose the Dragon, as they do manage to get back onto that rotate out. They might even catch Kira here.
Kira has been caught, has to use that ultimate, but it's in a 2v1 that they're not going to be able to do too much about. Here comes the Syndra to deny any kind of escape. Vaingod on the other side as well. All angles covered. And NSG pick up a free kill. The Dragon wasn't even taken by Bulldog, so they might be losing out on this one. And NSG, I questioned them before this game. We all questioned them last week, but this has been a very different side. And from players like Unknown Swede, from players like Disco Dano, much, much improved.
Yeah, and some of the strengths that we really saw from Bulldog in last week was we saw that the bot lane just outclassed Vector. We saw Kira dominating in the side lane on this Renekton, and those are 2 aspects that have kind of been shut down by NSG here. Yes, Misfortune is still 5 kills. She's still in a good position that can do a lot of damage, but now NSG have the tools to push her back. They have the tools to get onto her when she tries to wind up that bullet time, and they just haven't been able to find that level of effectiveness yet. Imported Chicken doing a fantastic job of going toe-to-toe with Kira.
With the mid lane, Disco Dano's gone low, but has stayed alive, has managed to pick up a kill of their own, but now Syndra is finally going to go down, but 3 members of NSG going to jump onto Renekton, who went to try and stop the inhibitor tower going down, won't be able to, and will fall. Vaingod picking up that one, going to be able to look for the tower, take it down. 4 members of NSG now having to fight 3 members of Bulldog on the defense. This could well be the final fight of the game if it's won by NSG. Nice engage onto 2. Wins is already half health. It's going to be forced back, but there's enough damage on the back end for NSG to be forced away. They do lose the inhibitor, but they stay alive in this game for a little while longer.
Allspooks made a fantastic play there. He was just shadowing around the side. He saw that he still had the quickening. He decided to use it to try and delay that fight as much as possible, allowing NSG to get the Baron. Now, we're zoomed out here because we can see the action is on 2 fronts. Jarvan goes forward, gets the Cataclysm on the Syndra. The bullet time is used, but immediately Scout of the Week is used to knock the Misfortune out of that. And while it is enough damage to shut Syndra down, that leaves Kira exposed here on the bottom side. 3 members will chase him down, manage to get that kill, manage to get the tower, and now you're looking at a 4-on-4 with more members of NSG having that power to take the fight to their opponents.
Very well played there from NSG, manages to get the objective. A decent hold from Bulldog in their base. Does mean that they only lose 1 inhibitor, but it's the opposite side of the map to Baron, which is going to be very, very worrying. Because yes, Baron isn't up right now, but having an open inhib or an inhib being down does mean that the minions are going to be pushing in for NSG. You're always going to have someone from Bulldog defending that, and if they don't have teleport up, yes, we have carry, yes, we have wins both with teleports at the moment. You still don't want to be in a position where you're forced to have someone on wave clear duty, and what this pressure can do is it can force some extra plays. NSG now in the top side, you can see, trying to get the pressure down, trying to split the map and split the defense, because they know one more team fight could be all it takes.
And it's not just the pressure that's causing issues for Bulldogs here. They're terrified to move through their own jungle. You saw Girish, Rosalina and Hyam Jacob grouping up as a free man, using that sweeper to just move methodically from bush to bush. They are really worried about Imported Chicken or Disco Dano popping out of nowhere and just popping multiple members at the same time. It is really a battle of attrition here. They do have to be so careful where they make these fights, because if Allspooks comes in with a quickening, getting 2, 3, 4 members, that spells the end of Bulldogs, and it's going to make it for a very short victory lap here.
Siege on 2 fronts now. Don't have to worry about bot lane. Superman's going to be doing that job quite nicely. They're just moving between top and mid, looking to get the minions in, but decent amounts of wave clear coming through from Bulldog means that it's going to be a hard one to crack. You've got to imagine that a fight will have to take place in order for the siege to fully be realized or to be broken from either side. And right now, it could be looking to happen around mid. Going to try and get the damage down onto the tower. Nice stop there on the set. Is this go time? A bit of damage comes through, but no. Bulldog decide not to go for it. It looks like there's going to be no engage by NSG either. Mid tower though, taking a beating. Here's the ult from Leona. Could they look to engage? They're going to go straight onto the set. He's going to get a big shield down. Cataclysm comes down onto the Syndra, but set is so low. But look at that shield. Syndra has to go golden, but Allspooks is low. Allspooks goes down. They go on the side, trying to go in, trying to get some damage down, but won't be able to. A nice pick up there from Bulldog, but look at the minions. They're crashing into the base. Karen wins. Have to go back. Could this be a chance for a re-engage? It doesn't look like it. As NSG melt back into the jungle. They're looking for Hyam Jacob though, but it's not going to matter. They lose another member. This time Disco Dano overstaying. Rosalina helps with the 3v1, and that is a siege well and truly broken, as it looks like Bulldog live to fight another day.
Yeah, it's a fantastic defense led by Leona here. Girish does step forward, goes on to set here, stuns him up, gets him nicely trapped up, and all the members commit at the same time. You can see Kira here coming on the side. Cataclysm traps Disco down and forcing him to go golden. Didn't have the flash available to get out of that one, which immediately puts NSG in a difficult position. They're forced on the back foot. And
Olaf going forward though. Nice flash forward. The Undertow, the Ragnarok. He really wants Rosalina and will be able to grab it. But now Girish is the wrong side of the law. Might be going low. In fact, is low. Might be going down. Leona uses that shield. Undertow will be missed. Will be dodged. Vanguard looking to chase down and picking up the kill all for himself. And now Dragon could well be on the menu for NSG. And that's going to mean the Ocean Soul and a lot of regen going over to this team that's already in the driving seat.
Which is definitely going to fit NSG massively. We saw just a minute ago how they're struggling to break the base open, how they are in the elongated siege, trying to chip the towers away by piece. If they have the extra healing of the Ocean Soul in their back pocket, it allows them to stay on the map for more. It allows them to stay pressuring around these turrets for the largest amount of time, and it makes the threat of a full-on team fight that Bulldog are going to initiate all that more difficult for them to actually try and pull off.
Baron has now been started by NSG. Vision is very much in their hands, and members of Bulldog aren't even going to get there in time to contest this one. Second Baron here for the red team. And you've got to imagine they're going to want to get a little bit more than an inhibitor this time round. You can imagine this could be the game-deciding couple of minutes, because they've got it on all 5 members, and Bulldog already struggling. Yes, they are breaking sieges when they are able to get a little bit of poke down and nice engage, but with the Baron empowered minions, you've got to be a little bit worried.
This could be the extra bit of push for NSG need to actually break open that mid lane. The inhibitor has respawned on the bot side, so they are going to have to mount a siege to try and regain that objective. But like we said, the power that the Baron brings, just buffing up all of those minions, could be that extra little bit of damage that NSG does need. Now, Imported Chicken is a little bit isolated here. There's nobody else on his side of the map at all. He's just trying to bring in these waves and keep as much pressure as possible. Meanwhile, we're seeing a 3-man unit on the top side, going to try to be breaking that, trying to pull Bulldog to opposite ends of the base so NSG can engage and force a fight on their terms. They don't want to fight as a 5, they want to try and pick these members apart if they can, and with 2 lanes under threat, it is really mounting up.
Set and Kera once again going 1v1 in the bot side. That tower top is so low, but the tower will be taken mid. That's even low. Let's go down and manages to pick up that one. Imported Chicken being chased away as we're going to go up to see how this fight takes place. Set looking to chase down onto Renekton. That's the 3rd tower falling in the base though. Kera super low. Has to be careful against the Set now, as the inhibitors, you've got to imagine, will drop one by one. There goes bot. There goes mid. They should be able to rotate top to grab that one as well. It looks like they want to bring the minions in. Bulldogs need to choose where they want to take this final fight, and I don't think they've decided just yet. They're grouping up towards the mid lane, looking to clear these minions out. There aren't supers just yet, but in a couple of waves they will arrive. They're looking to group up. Nice stun there onto the Set, but the Banshees will prevent the Syndra from going down. Ragnarok has been popped. This is the fight. Winter's gone low and it's going to go down. Vanguard's still alive even after taking the ultimate, but the fight is around the Nexus. That matters. Nice dunk there to take down Kera, and Bulldogs are melting. Bulldogs are forced back. That's the ace. That's the game, and it's going to be NSG picking up their first win.
Toppling one of our teams that was victorious last week will always feel nice. We see NSG getting their first win of the split, and it puts them tying with that middle of the pack kind of area we're going to see. I said on Twitter earlier today I wanted to see the teams fan out a little bit more. I wanted to see how this pack was going to start to break up, and NSG showing that they're not out of contention, they are here to fight, and Bulldog showing a few more flaws than they displayed last week. So teams shaping up quite nicely, and a really good back and forth match until NSG finally